I have a wonderful guest to introduce you to. He is somebody that many of the members of this church and the staff are familiar with. He is someone who has had a dramatic impact on me and my family. His name is Dr. DeSiena. It was nearly 10 years ago that my family started seeing him because my wife had severe scoliosis of the spine. And as a result of that, needed chiropractic care. And as a result of that, I started seeing Doug. And I noticed a dramatic improvement in my health. I had chronic sinus infections. And through the adjustments of the spine, my immune system was strengthened, and I no longer have chronic sinus infections. My son had severe asthma. We were in the hospital more than once with him wheezing of asthma. And since we've gone to the chiropractor, he hasn't had an asthma attack since. So it's been a dramatic impact on my family. After talking and spending much time with Dr. DeSiena and doing seminars together on health and wellness and possibility living, we decided to write this book together. Would you please welcome to the Crystal Cathedral, Dr. Douglas DeSiena.
Thank you, Robert.
Welcome, Doug.
Thank you, Robert.
How did you get started in chiropractic care?
Well, it really started when I was 16 years old, and I started with a bit of a wheeze, similar to your son. That wheeze turned into an asthma, and over a year period of time, that asthma turned into a chronic obstructive lung disease. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's basically where you can't begin to usher in a breath. And you know, you and I breathe in 14 times a minute. And there are some dark nights in there. I recall many times with my father having to stay up with me night after night, pounding the back of my back to help break up the mucus, literally at times being on oxygen, just so I can take in another breath. And I'll tell you, it was some dark nights, and many times I was losing hope and not even knowing if I wanted to go on. And so obviously my father and I never slept at night, so I was falling asleep in school, and it doesn't do well for my grades. And of course I lost 40 pounds, so I couldn't play sports anymore. So I thought to myself, you know, I need to try to gain some weight back because I looked severely sick. And at 17 years old, you're somewhat conscious about how you look. And so I decided to join a gym. And you know, the first 20 members of this gym got a free spinal evaluation. I didn't have no idea what a chiropractic did, except for it was free, and I'm 17 years old. I had nothing else to do. And the chiropractor told me I had some problems in my neck, some communication problems, if you will, with the nerve system. And I'd never even told the person I had asthma. The guy just said, you know, give me some time, I can correct that problem. And you know, Robert, within 6 weeks, for the first time, I was able to sleep through the night.
So you started, you came to chiropractic because of a serious illness.
Right, and I'll never forget the one time, lying on that adjusting table, you know, beginning to be able to breathe. Because, you know, even if I laughed, I would get a severe asthmatic attack. I was lying on that vinyl adjusting table. I'll never forget this. And you know how some people say, I know I heard your story, how you were called. I didn't hear a voice, necessarily like you hear in Moses and the Ten Commandments, but I felt God's presence. And I was to become a chiropractor so that I can help all those who are suffering like I have suffered. And now, as a result of that sickness, you know, I'm still left with collapsed right side of my chest. With my clothes off, my shirt off, you can see my rib cage is collapsing. And you know, that's like my mark. That keeps me motivated every day. That keeps my passion alive, so I can continue to serve those who are suffering.